Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Nostalgiaholic John. Anyway, got another review for you over this classic Nintendo Power Game Boy Players Guide. So let's take a closer look. Thanks for watching. Here it is, the Game Boy Nintendo Player Guide. Came out in 1991. I got this with my subscription to Nintendo Power. They came out with these special strategy guides and stuff, and this was kind of a unique one because it was covering all the Game Boy. Came out in 1991, so it's early stages of the Game Boy's life, but there's still 130 games in here. So it can show you in the short couple years that Game Boy was around up until this point, they had released a lot of games for it. Here's the inner sleeve right here, cover. And table of contents breaks it down to action, puzzle, adventure, RPG, and sports. More adventure than any other one, really. Published by Nintendo of America in Redmond, Washington. Going up with the Game Boy, and it talks about the Game Boy and its success, and you get in-depth reviews. Look at that retro image right there, that's pretty cool. And then you got Super Mario Land, which is classic, one of the launch titles for the Game Boy. I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely, obviously a Nintendo platformer, but I didn't like how when you got the firepower, it just bounced up once. It was kind of lame. But the music is classic. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I bought this game with the Game Boy when I first got it. Okay, so it goes to the first 4 levels. The next game is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan. Really enjoyed this game, actually. Another side-scroller platformer, but Turtles were obviously pretty big back in the day, and they still got a pretty good following. But classic game for sure. And after reading this, definitely make me want to pick up my Game Boy again and checking it out. Playing these games because I have a lot of these games for the Game Boy. And it goes through the first 4 or 5, stage 5. It goes through the whole game. You got Krang as the enemy boss, so pretty cool. Okay, Batman by Sunsoft. I used to love Sunsoft as a publisher. I think they made some great games. I used to love Batman for the NES, and the Game Boy port isn't too half bad either. Another platformer. I really like how they captured it, the screenshots, and they kind of pasted and puzzled together. They did a lot for the Game Boy. Next one is Operation C. This is like a Contra. This is by Ultra, which is like actually a Konami company. They kind of got around that from Nintendo's rules. You can only publish X number of games every year, so Ultra. But Operation C is essentially a kind of a Contra for the Game Boy, and actually a really good, really fun game. I highly recommend it for the Game Boy. I always wonder how they took screenshots of these things because it's portable, But they did. Okay, on to Double Dragon. Game that's been ported to most platforms. This was a who made this? It was Trade West, I think it was. Yeah, Trade West. They actually brought this out. Nemesis, another Ultra game. And this game was like, what game was it like? Kind of almost like an R-Type style game. Really fun. I have this game as well. Man, some of these classic Game Boy games are just epic. Castlevania, The Adventure. Here's Konami. Really good Castlevania game. Shows what the enemies here you deal with, you have to be worried about. The music, Castlevania music, is just epic as well. And so, this is a very helpful strategy guide because it shows you all the stages, all the screenshots. Gremlins 2, this is another Sunsoft game. I loved this game. Definitely different than Gremlins 2 for the NES because this is more of a platformer style game, but this is a really fun game. I think Gremlins 2 for NES was more of a kind of a top-down, like Zelda viewpoint kind of style game, but this is different. It talks about the different enemies. Sunsoft made some epic games back in the day. Graphics were fun. Hunt for the Red October. I wasn't too much of a fan for this one. All support for NES. Who made this one? This is High Tech. Great movie though. Sean Connery. Solar Striker. This was a great. I think this was a Nintendo launch, and this was a pretty awesome game actually. It's a firing game, Revenge of the Gator. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this game. This one was epic as well. This is a pinball game, and just fun game overall. Wow. Tetris, I mean, what can be said about this that hasn't been said? This was a packing game, epic. And they kind of go over different strategies for this. Dr. Mario, another Nintendo launch title. Really good port to the Game Boy. Fantastic port to the NES, Super Nintendo, etc. so forth. Great puzzle game. Quirk. Oh, I remember this game too. This game that came out. Yeah, I don't have this game, but I remember it for sure. I always remember me like a tomato guy or something like that. It's weird. Solomon's Club. Tecmo. I don't know much about this game. I don't think I've ever played this game before. The Enemies. Quarth. Ultra. Another game I'm not really familiar with, to be honest. It looks like almost like an alleyway or something like that type of game. Gargoyle's Quest. This is Capcom. This is a really fun game as well. Like an RPG. Almost like is it like a side-scrolling RPG? It's been a while since I've played this game, but really, really cool game. And they cover quite a bit of it, actually. Cosmo Tank. Don't know much about this one. There's some of these I'm going to have to look into now. I remember being blown away when, I think I skipped one. This is Fortified Zone Jellicoe. I remember being amazed how small the Game Boy was back in the day, you know? Like, wow, this is huge. You know, it's really small, but looking back on it, it's huge. Disney DuckTales. This is definitely a must-own for the Game Boy and NES. You have DuckTales 2 eventually was released as well, which is a lesser-known title, but still a great one. Great side-scrolling platform game. Really, I love the cartoon, and it really fit the character's role pretty much in this game as well. And, you know, there's different stages. You can select what stage you want to start with, kind of like Mega Man, I suppose, in that sense. And really fantastic. Final Fantasy Legend. Definitely unique. These are always unique Final Fantasy games because these are almost like played like, if I remember correctly, almost like a Zelda style. It wasn't like, it's an RPG, but kind of a different style RPG, and still great games. I remember those games for sure. Shows you different enemies, but really fun. Just different style gameplay for typical Final Fantasy for back in the day. The Sword of Hope. I've never really heard of this game, to be honest with you. I totally forgot about it. It looks like almost like another RPG. Ultima, I mean, shoot, this game is, you know, one of the classic RPG games, obviously originally on PC, but Ultima Online is awesome. Obviously, this is not the online. This is different. More like almost again, like a Zelda-style game. Yeah, golf. I really liked the Nintendo-style golf games. They did a really good job. They showed you the different courses here. And kind of strategy each course. US course, I think it's like a Japanese course. F1 race. This one came with like a tap, an adapter. I think you can play like multiplayer on it. I remember that. And it was packed into a large. Yeah, there it is. See, it was packed into including 4-player adapter for up to 4 players. So that's pretty cool. I remember picking up this game, and it's a great F1 style racing gameplay multiplayer on it. It's pretty sweet. Days of Thunder. I have this for the NES. I don't have this for the Game Boy, but interesting movie. It's pretty much like what game am I thinking about? Top Gun for racing. Essentially, kind of movie. Anyway, Tom Cruise. Super RC Pro-Am. I love RC Pro-Am for the NES, and this is a great port for the Game Boy. Fantastic. Remote control cars and stuff like that. So this is your directory. We're getting to strategy, adventure, blah blah. Here's some other games coming out. Amazing Penguin, Amazing Spider-Man, Balloon Kid. And then you got Batman, Bubble Bobble. I thought they already talked about Batman. It's interesting to put that in there. Bubble Ghost, Bugs Bunny, Bugs Bunny 2, Burger Time Deluxe. Let's see what else. Ghostbusters 2. Wow, that's a great title. Totally different from Ghostbusters 1. Man, so many good games for the Game Boy. It's Lock and Chase, Kung Fu Master. Gremlins 2, which I showed you. Maris Mission. I want to say Maniac Mission, but Mansion, but different. Mr. Do. Nemesis, Navy SEALs, Mickey's Dangerous Chase, Operation C, Pain of Wars. What else we got here? Pac-Man, been ported to pretty much everything. Revenge of the Gator. God, I want to play that game again real soon. It's a great one. Bill and Ted's Dude. Fine. Hatchus. Clax. It's funny. Clax this is by High Tech, but initially it was Atari or Tengen who released it for the NES. It's kind of an unlicensed game. Tetris. Frame Roger Rabbit the game. I'll support the NES. A lot of these games are NES ports. Fantasy Legend 2. Ah, shoot. Baseball. Bases Loaded. I love how you could change the amount of the NES version. I'm not sure about the Game Boy version. Pro Wrestling Blades of Thunder or Blades of Steel. Great game by Ultra or Konami, released I think under the NES. In Your Face. I totally remember this game for the NES. That's hilarious, dude. Ulster Basketball. NFL Football. I have that game. Motocross Maniac. This is like if you really like what's it called? Excite Bike. Definitely check out this game. This is like Excite Bike. A lot better though. Volleyball. Tennis. Battleship. Spot, which is the 7-Up character right here. Spot. Interesting. This is your game index right here. So, thanks for watching, guys. I just wanted to kind of step you through this and check this out. You can subscribe. So, it doesn't. How much is it? Just $15 for 12 issues. So, not bad. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.